Hi, this is Billy Starks, and you're listening to Wrestling with Entertainment.
We are wrestling with NXT Takeover Vengeance Day. And if you're smart, how should you listen to it, Scooter?
With your ears. And if your ears work, then why not wrap them up in your big old wireless headphones and tune in to the remix? The only real way a wrestling fan listens to commentary of WWE events, NXT events, and maybe even just random moments. Like, when I go to the bathroom in 15 minutes. Join me for a remix then. No, I'm kidding. But seriously, though, this Sunday, NXT Takeover, Vengeance Day, the alternative to Valentine's Day. If you've had your heart broken and you just want to see some ass get kicked, tune in to the remix right here, right there, UMB Sports 2, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 4 Pacific. Myself, James, and maybe Kaliko if he's not busy, chasing the little one around or drunk.
Or avoiding, the one that loves him the most on that very special day, like most men do.
Exactly.
or 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 avoiding the drunk little one that loves him the most.
One of those two are gonna get me.
All right,
I have a hint. It's going to be the latter than the former.
Bow, bow, bow.
let's get into it. Women's Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic Finals: Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez versus Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart. It kind of feels like the Women's Dusty Classic was kind of just, oh well, we do it for the men, so we got to do it for the women too. Not kind of realizing that they didn't have a lot of female tag teams. Am I wrong here?
Yeah, no, this should have probably been. This could have been the replacement for the May Young Classic.
I mean, they haven't done the Mae Young Classic in like what, 3 years?
I mean, why not run, the Dusty Classic alongside the May Young Classic concurrently? Why? I mean,
True.
it's. I mean, yes. Okay. Gender should not be the defining issue of why something is done. It should be the fact that they're entertaining and then that we want to see them. The Women's Dusty Classic feels like it was just like, oh, okay, you guys, all right. So you know what? We can probably squeeze another tournament out of this. So let's just, you know, do it. And therefore, because it's already devalued in the WWE's eyes, it's twice as devalued by the fans because it's essentially we're already being told vicariously that it's inconsequential. And the fact that it's just was a essentially just like okay, I like the idea of random teams. I loved Battle Bowl, back in the day, and ending with like the Battle Royal at the end. I mean that was my jam. But the women's tournament, it's I find yes, it'll probably be a good match, but it's a lot harder for wrestling fans to find a reason to care for the reasons this match is happening.
That being said, who wins?
Yeah, it's Dakota and Raquel.
Kalika?
Dang, everybody just hates that tournament. I get. You know what's funny? The only reason it's bad because they didn't focus on women's tag team and the jump plate in the first place. I felt that they should have had more of those main roster tag teams that are women jump in it, even for the fact of making it interesting. Because the whole point of the tournament is to get a shot at the NXT women's tag titles, right? So why wouldn't they put in those women tag teams and give them an opportunity? Whether they win or lose, that's it. That's not the point. The point is give to give to try to create depth of the women's tag team. And that is the only thing I didn't like about it. But other than that, yeah, I mean, it's Dakota Raquel because I feel like it's going to go get a Dakota Raquel breakup soon, especially with the seeds being planted when it was Rhea Ripley going against Dakota Kai and Raquel, and they had this little thing about like I could beat you by myself, and Dakota couldn't, and Raquel did, and so I feel like that's going to be the thread that pulls that story apart.
I mean, that makes a lot of sense from that standpoint, but, drawn together tag teams usually do quite well in these tournaments. And if you see who's actually the champions right now, which is Baszler and Jax, um, wouldn't it make sense to have Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart win? Just to go with that heel and versus face title match?
I don't think the WWE thought that far.
That is true. Because I feel like if that's the case, I think even if that's the case, it could be something where it's a Raquel faced her. I bet you they're gonna push it to where she becomes a face.
Not to mention, and I love Dakota Kai. She's my girl. She
Oh
don't
my
win.
God, we love Dakota.
She don't win a lot of matches. So that's another reason to, in my mind, to go with Ember and Blackheart. So I think that's who
I
we're
mean,
going with.
I see your point. I just don't. It, Ember, I love Ember. I just feel like now she's trying to get herself back together after the ACL shit, and she damn near quit from it. So I give her kudos for even coming back. Shotzi, I thought that they were trying to push her as more of a singles person, so that's why.
I see what you mean.
Yeah.
So that's why I would go with Raquel because Raquel would have a reason to get away. Because let's say this: Raquel and Dakota win the match. They lose the tag match. Dakota's the reason they lose the tag match. Raquel has enough of it, and it gives her a chance to get a clean break as a singles wrestler, which is what they're trying to do. Storyline wise, that would make sense. But
See what happens.
I mean, yeah. Essentially, I'm getting big, Sean and Diesel vibes from Dakota and Raquel.
Oh yeah. Men's Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic Finals. MSK, Wesley and Nash Carter versus Grizzled Young Veterans, James Drake and Jack Gibson. Um, Interesting finals. Who wins, Scooter?
Well, I think this is the first Dusty Rhodes Classic where I'm not. There is no obvious, real winner. That being said, MSK, the Rascal Sens, Trey Miguel come into this tournament and it's their debut, and boom, 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 they roar off like wildfire. This is where the WWE says, "Welcome. This is how we do things here. Learn your place. Maybe next time."
Ah,
Of course,
so you're going with you don't just come in and win our tournaments type deal.
Yep.
That's not a bad Dark. What about you, Kaliko? What say you?
I mean, if they had introduced the school closing thing, it would have gave you a reason to cheer for them. But with that being said, it'll be the Grizzled Young Veterans because of the simple fact I feel like them being NXT UK Tag Champs or former rather, they have a lot more to offer in that tag team scene than MSK. And like everybody else said, this is your welcome to WWE bitch moment. So yeah, it's got to be the Grizzly Young because when they came back like solid. It ain't like they came back and like were floating. So they have a plan with them.
I think I'm still gonna go with MSK though, because again, WWE is for the baby face. It's a baby face territory. They usually go with the faces. So it would make sense to go with MSK versus, and they get a tag team championship shot. Who are they wrestling? Heels and Danny Burch and Oni Lorcan. So maybe that's the major deciding factor for me. Alright, North American Championship match. Johnny Gargano versus Kushida. Who wins, Scooter?
Now, this is not exactly Gargano seems like he's been trying to like weasel out of it, after being in a wheelchair and whatnot. God, I want Kushida to win. I want someone to have a better, to go on to have a better, oh, I was a former New Japan, original. I have a better WWE career than Shinsuke is essentially right now. I think if Kushida doesn't pull it out here, I think Kushida's time might be at an end.
I have a little bit of a theory, but I'll save that for after Kaliko.
I heard that. But this is a tough one. I mean, Gargano is Mr. Takeover. Kushida's kind of showing that little streak, but I would think Gargano would win by interference. I don't think it's going to be something where Kushida...
You took my theory.
I mean, it has to be because, I mean, everything Gargano has done to this point has been the chicken shit heel. And that's the funny thing about it, because he could win on his own, but he just chooses not to. And that's the whole point of his gimmick. And I think The Way finds a way to get this through.
This is the way.
Asshole. This is the way, asshole.
No, I can actually went the opposite way. No pun intended. Johnny Gargano is Johnny Takeover, but we always forget Johnny don't win takeover matches, like ever. Like he's 5-20.
That's a lie. He won Halloween Havoc. What are you talking about, son? And he won the triple threat.
He,
Yeah.
oh,
Hey.
it's still not a good margin, Coleco. So I see, but I don't see them taking off the belt off Johnny Gargano right this second. So what I'm thinking is the Way comes in and causes disqualification. Kushida gets the win by disqualification, and it builds up for a Johnny Gargano Kushida rematch at the next takeover for WrestleMania. Well, Kushida will win. And next up, NXT Women's Championship match: Io Shirai versus Toni Storm versus Mercedes Martinez. Who wins, Scooter?
Gee. Oh, such a toughie. Ooh. Ow. Oh, this hurts my head. Yo, Shirai. I mean, come on. Seriously? Like, do you really think? Yeah, I mean, if you think Io Shirai is losing, you're as blind as Anne Frank.
Well, yeah, Io's been a great champion, but she did win the championship in a triple threat, so it would only make sense for her to lose the championship in a triple threat. Maybe with Mercedes Martinez pinning Toni Storm.
And by the way, thank you for agreeing with me that Anne Frank was blind when she wasn't.
Probably only use Stevie Wonder for all blind analogy.
I was saying,
Or Ray Charles.
I was trying. I was seeing if anybody would catch that. I said usually people say Helen Keller in that.
I think is the
You know,
is the
I think
guy
before James' time, Helen Keller.
I know who Anne
Hell,
Frank
before
is.
my time.
I know who Helen Keller is. I did a paper on her. But what say you, Kaliko? Io, Tony, Mercedes.
God, I want Tony to win. God, I want Tony to win.
Just so one of us will be in each corner. I'm in Mercedes, and Scooter's in Io.
Yeah, but yeah, God, I want Tony to win. But I just feel like everything's been happening. Io's been one step ahead. So as much as it pains me, Io's the division. So whoever beats her is going to be somebody. So that's why I feel like it would be better if Raquel did it. And that's where I think the Raquel losing the match, going to the singles, getting the title shot, beating her eventually down the road. So it would mean more, but I mean,
I don't
that's
necessarily
just
think
me.
Raquel is ready for a title run.
it's gonna be
It's coming.
it's gonna be Xia Li or Tian Shen who beats Io for it. The supposedly 2,000-year-old empress who
I was
killed the
caused by a
dragon.
dragon.
Really, they're doing the Japanese Chinese battle, huh? I mean, I thought that was over with Bruce Lee, but remember Enter the Dragon? Like I thought that was over.
But that the 2,000-year-old empress is a repackaged Karen Q.
Oh my god. Really?
Yep. Karen Q, right from my hometown in Queens.
Well, thanks for ruining the mystique, Scooter. Now you're just gonna tell me Bray Wyatt is IRS's son.
Yes. He is W2 Shyster. But they're really going somewhere with the this whole Tianshan story. So they're building up something with Xia Li and EO. Probably if there's a takeover WrestleMania weekend.
Probably there will be.
It's 2 nights, but doesn't it make Bo Dallas W4 Shyster?
No, it makes him 1099 Shyster.
So, Kaliko definitively, who is your pick for the women's title match?
EO.
Alright. NXT Championship match, Finn Balor versus Pete Dunne. Who wins, Scooter?
Balor. Be right back.
Kaliko, who's your pick?
I mean, Balor, because Edge and Balor is better than Dunn and Balor. I mean, Dunn and Edge. Edge and Balor is better than Edge and Dunn.
So you think that they're actually gonna go Balor and Edge for WrestleMania? I mean, I'm not complaining.
Well, the
But it
rumor
kinda
is
seems
that
like
they're
it-
wanting the NXT. The rumor is the NXT title is possibly getting defended at Mania. And I told you this precedent. It's all about precedent now because last year the NXT Women's Championship was defended on a 2-night WrestleMania. This year it's a 2-night WrestleMania. They got to stack that card for both nights.
Especially with an actual crowd going to be there.
Exactly. Like I said, I Edge is either going NXT or SmackDown. Those are the two choices. So after the last 2 weeks, I give Raw 1%, NXT 49, and SmackDown 50. That's literally how I see it. As far as odds of where Edge is going. Because the storyline is trickling that way.
Well, and on SmackDown, Edge did get physical with Roman Reigns, so it does seem like they're kind of going that way. Even though maybe they shouldn't, and we should see Finn Balor versus Edge.
Well, the reason they're going that way is because Roman literally was like, he made it an issue. He made it an issue like, motherfucker, you got the nerve to wait till the end of the week to see me. That's what, you see what I'm saying? And that's literally, that's all it took. It's like, I'm the man. Fucking acknowledge me because I'm the fucking guy. Because Edge went all over the place and gave everybody their kudos, and Roman didn't get it, and he felt slighted, and he had the "I'll slap a bitch" face look. And
Doesn't Roman always have that face nowadays?
Not lately, which is, I love it. I love it. I love the old "I'll slap the." It's like a Samoan Debo, but it can't get no crazier than that though. But I think Edge Roman would be a big spear versus spear. He's saving us from Roman Goldberg, so hell.
Well, yeah. Unless they make it a triple threat.
Oh God, no! That'll be the shortest triple threat in history. Jesus, are you kidding me?
No, I see what you mean. If they did this match after WrestleMania, my money would kind of be on Pete Dunne because, honestly, I feel like he deserves an NXT Championship run. I mean, he's been there for like forever, and he's done practically everything. So and that would be giving him his kudos moment. But considering that will be for WrestleMania, there is a Finn Balor Edge tease coming up. I don't think they're gonna give it to him this time. I think Scooter is back.
Yes, Scooter is back.
Did you run a mile?
With feels like it.
Hit the inhaler one time. Hit the inhaler one time for the one time.
No, because then I'll have to leave again. This is, for all intents and purposes, this is an NXT Dream match. I mean, I hate the fact that they even teased that Edge would consider going after the NXT title simply because he hasn't had it, but yet it's still considered a lesser title.
Cool.
Until NXT is no longer a place where everyone has to go before they reach Raw or SmackDown, and they do a real roster shake up and send people from Raw and SmackDown to NXT and treat NXT like the official third brand. There's no point in having. There really was no point in having Edge there. I mean, I'd love to see a Finn Balor Edge match. I absolutely would, and everybody else would. But then it's not going to make any. It's not going to make Edge choose. So, but at the same time, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if this was the time Balor decided he wanted to, make give Pete Dunne his due. Yeah, because let's face it. Instead, Pete Dunne should not have been the longest reigning NXT UK champion. He really should have been the longest reigning NXT North American champion. And then you could have done something else there, but if Dunne doesn't win, I don't know if Pete will ever get near a title match again.
I disagree with that.
And not because they've given up on him, but because every title reign he'll have will be compared to the UK title reign. And just by that, people will, if it doesn't last long, he'll get unfairly crapped on because of it.
I think that's another conversation for another time. But I do see what you mean. But let's give Pete Dunne his due.
I mean, yeah, Pete Dunne. Like I said, I get everything Scooter says, but I would say NXT is Edge has more of a shot of going to NXT than going to Raw after the Raw title, in my opinion. And the only reason NXT is even the viable threat that it is because when Charlotte did what she chose to do, whether we knew it or not, it elevated NXT to that level, even though most wrestling fans don't see it as that level.
Well, it would have had there not been the shutdown.
True.
Yeah, because keep in mind they had the whole shebang with NXT at the Survivor Series prior to this. And they had NXT going over like a motherfucker. So to me, I see everything Scooter's saying, but I'll put it this way: I think Scooter was gone before I'd said this, but I'll say it again: 1% edge. The odds of edge for each championship, I'm going Raw 1%, NXT 49%, SmackDown 50%.
Yeah, yeah, I would agree that he would choose the NXT title over the WWE Championship. Considering that that every time he's had the WWE Championship, it's all about going back for titles you never had, and the
NXT
NXT
wasn't a
title
thing when he retired the first time.
and the Universal title. I mean, also now with the announcement that there will be a SmackDown Elimination Chamber match featuring Jey Uso, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, King Corbin, Cesaro, and Daniel Bryan. And the winner will get a Universal Championship match immediately following the Chamber match.
Immediately following?
Mm-hmm.
Okay then. That's interesting.
Yeah, which makes me wonder now, because that could change everything.
It totally could.
Now, and we also have to remember that someone still wants another Brock Roman match at Mania. And that's apparently getting a lot of credence. The idea of Goldberg and Roman is still on the table. The idea of Cena and Roman still on the table as well. So if Roman doesn't leave Elimination Chamber with the title, let's say Daniel Bryan ends up winning it. Yeah, we're getting Daniel Bryan Edge, without a doubt. I mean, put it this way, if Roman retains coming out of Elimination Chamber, there's still that 50% for SmackDown. If Roman loses it to Daniel Bryan, it goes way up for SmackDown.
Yeah.
Well, I think we should conclude our coverage of
And
NXT.
SmackDown and
Yeah.
that's the wild card, considering the fact that SmackDown chose to do their chamber for the right to even get a shot, and McIntyre is literally in the match. So that tells you it's going to be where it's heading. Kind of weird that they're competing brands and they would go those two totally different routes.
And I'm sure we'll talk everything Elimination Chamber next week on the show. But for now, we shall conclude our coverage of WWE NXT Takeover Vengeance Day. That was a lot. Until next Saturday, catch us this Wednesday when we interview Little Mean Kathleen, which is one of our more funner interviews, if I do say so myself. Until then, you could like, subscribe, comment, both on YouTube and Castbox. And for everything that is wrestling with entertainment related, you can follow Wrestling with E for updates on shows, updates on interviews, time and schedules, everything that you need to know about the show. And you can join the conversation with us as well. You can find me at JamesJ993. Where can they find Kaliko?
Find me showing pictures of my damn backyard, all this work I put in on them lights, at I am Kaliko.
And where can they find Scooter Dust?
You can find me on the hunt for Alexa Bliss's stalker, and as well, you can find me on the tweeter, as the kids say, at Scooter Dust, and as always, holding it down for the UNB network at UNBS Wrestling. The remix Sunday. Tune in, smash the fuck out of it.
For Kaliko Yachts, Scooter Dust, I'm James J, and this has been Wrestling with Entertainment.
You got a pretty mouth.